Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Upper Room Studios. This is the Road Home Podcast.
This is episode 52.
Yes.
And
Yay.
that means, my friends, that we have been podcasting for exactly 1 year. What? I did it again. And we haven't learned anything.
Never change.
We haven't learned anything. We've learned nothing. It's like I don't know what I'm doing. But the thing is, this has been a trial run.
I think that was the thing, is we don't know what we were doing.
I think that's what it was. Anyway, it's been fun. We're not quitting, by the way. It's okay to think that, but no, we're not quitting. We made a goal in the very first few episodes, and we flew by that goal this year. So, thank you. We want to express our appreciation to all those who have been faithful in listening, subscribing, those who have encouraged us along the way, those who have said to us, "Hey, I listened to your podcast." Thank you. That's enough for us. We have more goals. We're going to try to cross over in the next year. But in this little 52nd episode, season 1 finale, I guess you could call it. We're going to kind of just express our thanks to you for listening, and maybe talk about, just kind of brainstorm here with you listening on what we might do in the future, and also some of our favorite moments from this past year. Also, there's been a lot that's happened this year personally for all of us, and well, maybe not me, but there's been a lot of things that happened to everybody else. But let's just recap here, why don't we? Jed, why don't you start with us here?
Well, I'd say the biggest thing that happened to me this year was the birth of our second son, Holden, and it's been quite a journey getting to him.
Yeah.
Me and Emily, we've gone through some trials and tribulations, which we've never really shared it here on the podcast. But a few years back, we had lost a set of twins, and that was quite a traumatic experience.
Pretty big.
Yeah. So Holden, he's been a big blessing to us, and Gideon, he loves having a little brother. He smothers him all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been quite a journey this last year. I've learned a lot, editing and all the technological stuff, and it's been fun. I'd say the biggest memories are the ones that people don't see on the podcast. It's all of the mistakes and redos, and we've done that a lot. We've recorded.
If you could see how frustrating some of the we sat here in this studio, if you call it, and just, man, we fought a lot of battles.
I was thinking last night late, okay, back when we first started, there was an episode we did that we never brought to anybody. It was on.
Oh, it was a disaster.
Well, actually, there was a few we did, and we never brought to anybody. Those will never see the light of day.
They've been deleted.
There are no clips.
Cameras. There's no more, nothing.
They're like Hillary Clinton's emails. We can't find them. And so anyway, it's gone. But I was thinking about all the energy we spent one night. So one night, it was all of us on here, and we had all the equipment. It was before we put a little money into some stuff.
Yeah. And
we had some good ideas, I guess you could say. And I think they were pretty good, but nothing would flow. And we had our green screen at the time.
Had our big, large bricks.
It looked like we were stuck, I don't know, in the Enterprise or something on Star Trek.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. We just learned something, but we went home that night.
We learned not to do it again.
And I was just frustrated, praying, Lord, we want to do this good. And it was immediate. I got my little notebook. I started writing notes. I was like, I got ideas. And then we got what we have now. And we feel like we've come to the point where our goal is reached as far as our quality.
For the first year.
We're going to do better. That's our plan. We don't expect much out of ourselves. That's the funny part is we do want more. Like you want better. You want perfection on things, but don't we all on everything? But you're not going to get it. Just like you're not going to get any skill has to be honed in on. Has to be practiced. Your first year of doing whatever skill, like I play music the first year I didn't sound that great. I was happy I could play a little song, but I wasn't doing so. Same way with this, it's kind of a growing process, and Jed's learned how to cover up some of our mistakes pretty good, which is okay. There's still a few that slips through, but that's okay.
Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah, sometimes it's like it just goes over. Okay, so I am the history buff, but there was this time back in the 50s whenever there was this brand new TV show came on. It was called Guess Who's in the Picture or something like that. And it was like a game show, and it was hosted by Jackie Gleason, Honeymooners guy.
Yep.
Well, anyway, it went for like 1 week. The very next week, he said, I'm not doing it again. That was the stupidest show. And so he gets out there, and he just sits there and he apologizes to everybody and said, I am so sorry that we insulted your intelligence. And so, yeah. So we didn't have to do that.
Right.
So we felt, we had that little pep talk with ourselves. We didn't have, thank God we didn't have live television.
We had a lot of support. You guys supported us. And even when it was, I ain't going to say that it's great, but at the beginning, you guys supported us when it was worse.
Yeah.
And so trying to get through some things, hurdles, a new start. We didn't know what we were doing. Me and Micah here just recently started talking to people. So he started being more talkative. So
yeah, I was mute before.
To put him on a pod, I've always talked. I've always ran my mouth. So, but to get us both together, do something that was uncomfortable to us and something we've never done before, talking to a camera, it's different when you're talking to a person, which that's what helped with the both of us, and then Jed come on, and it's been. And
if we had the girls here, I think it would have been better. But
maybe we'll get them on more next.
I can talk to them all day.
If this is the opportunity, if you're listening, to like we say, comment, but really comment because we do care what you think. Mm-hmm. So if you want to see more of Becca, Emily, more stuff like that. Let us know. We're kind of getting into a regrouping phase to come out with some more.
Getting ready to do some new stuff.
Yeah.
Hit us with if you don't want to say anything, if you're one of those that's embarrassed, just let your comments be seen in public. Just do this. Find yourself an emoji. Preferably not
thumbs up,
not that
thumbs
little
down.
If you want to use the poo-poo emoji, it's okay too.
We understand.
Sometimes life stinks. It's okay. But at least you can breathe in, right? Anyway, so yeah, we do have some plans. Loosely based plans. But yes, we have plans. We're flexible because we don't know what's going to happen, but we're excited. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say that we have full assurance that all of our plans will work out. There was this one day we went out and we filmed a whole episode at the park. And that was so good. I thought we did a bang up job on that thing, Jed. And then it was like a Charlie Chaplin movie. He was silent.
There's no microphone.
Our mics went dead.
Yeah.
So it could happen
Hopefully
to anybody.
Next year our technology will improve.
Well,
maybe the Road Home podcast finances will be a little bigger.
Yeah.
We got zero money.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like it was back in the day when you had to have a fundraiser to be on the air. We have these platforms like YouTube and Spotify. Which, okay, so I just the other day listened to it on Spotify, which I hardly ever do. It sounds awesome on Spotify. And I think it's because I'm not looking at myself and it's like, okay.
If you listen on Spotify, I apologize. I have done horrible getting them up on Spotify. I think I was like 5 weeks behind or something.
Yeah.
I like watching it on YouTube because I like the interaction. I don't know, looking at us. I don't necessarily like looking at myself, but you just kind of feel more interactive.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, like, okay, on the YouTube, we sometimes flash like pictures and like Jed puts sometimes like little memes or something that you wouldn't get.
It was fun watching the green screen, and every once in a while you'd see the like kind of boop out, one spot or another spot.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I enjoyed doing the green screen. But
it was fun.
I'm glad we don't do it no more.
Yeah.
It looks a lot more professional.
If you do green screen, I think there's a way you do it. It tasteful.
Like you actually have a good green screen.
Yeah.
You got to have more lighting.
And you got to have good software.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's a way you do it and it looks good. But
we'd like to thank Seth and all the other ones that contributed to building this little studio, putting the panels up and whatnot.
Me.
And Micah. Seth helped him though.
Seth helped me put this stuff together.
Yeah.
I did it and then he helped me. So yeah. So anyway, we laid these brick ourselves.
Yeah.
Brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar. I went down and I hewed these logs. Yeah.
Staples.
Staples. Made them look good. But yeah, it's been a good run here. I think we can do better. But in retrospect, hindsight being 2020 as it is, what's your favorite episode or maybe your least favorite like topic or what we've done that's been kind of maybe?
I personally really enjoyed the Christmas one.
That was fun.
That sitting there and we had some cookies. We ate some cookies off camera, and
yeah.
But just that Christmas episode, listening to Linus, right? Linus was the one. Listening to Linus, it was pretty powerful when even just sitting here and recording it, even though you've heard it 100 times, it still was to this day that I believe that was my favorite episode.
I like that one. I like the one where we saw Jesus at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was kind of fun.
It's fun to have fun, but a lot of the episodes we had information that we wanted to get out, and so not every one of them could be the talking. We just felt led to Micah. Mainly felt led to do what episodes we needed to do, and so it was fun doing the talking ones and doing the Chick-fil-A ones, but I think also a lot of the ones, just like this previous Halloween one and whatnot, a lot of good information was shared that, this podcast has helped me because I necessarily didn't know all the information. And by studying it and then bringing it to you, some of it was a new thing for me that I learned to bring to you.
Mm-hmm. And my plan is that we get better at that, where it's kind of a mixture.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. And maybe that means we be a little bit longer in the way we do things. I don't know. We'll just see how that plans out. But because we limited our time, and because of some of our technological boundaries, we limit our time on things. And so people's like, because when we first started, people were like, "Oh, you just got started," and then that was the end of the episode. It's like, well, we kind of restrained our time down to whatever, and we have went over that at times, but
we try to keep it around 30 minutes. But
some people like they got a shorter span, and some people like longer ones. So again, comment. What do you like?
Tell us.
Like it shorter? Do you want it longer?
And I think, okay, for me, like I'll listen to a podcast that goes for like an hour and a half or maybe longer, especially like if you're driving or you're working, and you can, especially if you got Bluetooth headphones, you can go and you take a walk and listen to a podcast. Okay, well that's fun. But then there's some, you just like to watch a little podcast or listen to a little podcast for like 15, 30 minutes. That's fine. Tell us what you like. Give us your feedback. It'll help us to hone in on what we're going to do, because you're our audience. Now we don't people please per se, but we are trying to find out where you're at. And what day of the week do you listen on Tuesday? Do you wait until the weekend, or do you save like 3 of them up and listen to them in a row so you have that longer content? I mean, let us know. It would help us out. But
what about Jed? What was your favorite?
I'd say probably the Chick-fil-A one.
Okay,
that one was fun.
Yeah,
and I think the reason it was fun for me, it was conversational, but.
See, I like scenario type stuff, like stuff that ain't necessarily real. It's just all the what if stuff,
Which is what we do all the time anyway.
So,
yeah.
Which I think the Chick-fil-A one was the first one where we kind of did that.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah,
the ones you got to kind of think a little bit, use your imagination.
I mean, Jed does this all the time. So last night we're sitting around and we're talking, and then all of a sudden you ask what?
If Donald Trump hugged you, what would he smell like?
What?
I think he would smell like cinnamon, like the big red chewing gum.
Steven and Jed. Okay, so Steven,
Steven is Billy's brother-in-law.
Yeah, my brother-in-law. We all work together. Jed and Steven, if somebody comes on the job, a truck driver, somebody delivering something, they try to guess the name of that person. We never find it out, but that's just what goes through Jed's mind. And Steven, if you're listening, that goes through what's that guy? So then the other day, Steven gave a truck driver a name, and I just relayed that name to, okay, here's we called him Dwight. I said, okay, Dwight's coming in. Dwight, we don't know his name.
Don't know his name, okay.
But to us, it's Dwight.
But his name wasn't Dwight.
But anyways, that's the way Jed thinks, and that's why we get a lot of episode suggestions from Jed.
Yeah, Jed comes up with a lot of the questions.
There was one night I couldn't sleep, and I just wasn't tired, and I think I sent like 5 or 6 episode ideas in a row in our little group chat we got.
Yeah.
It was like midnight.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Bill doesn't come up with none of the ideas. I'm just here to commentary. So.
Here's what usually happens. So Jed will come up with an idea, and he bounces it off of me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we can do this one. I don't know about that one, but we can do this one. Yeah, okay. No, that's a good one, Jed. And it'll always be Jed's come up with a lot of them for the most part, and it's been fun. Jed's got the questioning mind. What Donald Trump smells like, I had no idea.
So they'll come up with the idea, and then we'll all meet here, and they'll give me about 30 seconds of what they want to talk about, and then so I'm off the cuff all the time. I don't got no preparation. Michael will say, "Look, I'm gonna look up this definition." So then I'll look up the definition. Then it'll be okay. Let's go. So that's all that I know. When it comes to it. So.
Yeah, it's fun though. We do it.
Yeah,
and like I said, we're trying to get better. Perfectionism is a struggle.
Yeah.
Because you want things to be perfect, which nothing is perfect. I mean, you try to make a round ball out of clay, you're not going to get a perfectly round ball.
Yeah.
So we kind of struggle with the whole, we wish everything was just so, but that's what progress is about.
Mm-hmm. And we're like on like the bare minimum of electronics, like these mics weren't really expensive, crazy, but they work. Yeah. And so we just wanted to make your listening experience be okay. Yep. You weren't guessing what we were saying, whatnot. So we are kind of at the bare minimum level of technology, and we only hope to go up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it may your experience listening may go up, but to me it sounds good. We don't have the most perfect things, but to me it sounds good. I enjoy listening. I've watched every episode that we've ever done. I've rewatched it, and some of them rewatched twice, 3 times.
I couldn't bring myself to do that.
Just because I do enjoy it, and I get a little more out of it's different when you're recording it as when you're listening to it. I sometimes get more out of listening to it than I did doing the recording. So
I can do that sometimes, but like if I listen to it, I'm like, I can't believe that was said. I'll be listening to it, like, okay, the other night we were driving home from church, and I said, just turn on the podcast. Let me hear some of the older ones, like on the audio, because I had discovered that it sounded different on the audio. So I said, play some of these. I start listening. I said, I start disagreeing with myself and start saying, okay, wait, that's wrong. That's maybe, you should have said this. And so I can't do that. That's just my problem. What do you think about our studio audience, though?
They got a nice hand clap.
Yeah. But they don't clap long enough.
No.
So So we might have. I do like this though.
All of Micah's sounds.
That's what my sinuses sound like.
Micah likes his sounds.
Yeah.
And we got this board here that preloads it on there, and Micah loves it.
It's fun. I just wish there were more applicable sounds.
Micah, in this time of what we're going to do next, Micah's going to work on his dimming, or not dimming,
my sliding on my
working.
What do you call that?
Fading in and out.
Yeah, fading. There you go.
Fading in and out. A little less on the other. Yeah, that's just. I don't know why that's been a struggle. Some of them are like, okay, sounds perfect. You can't see that if you're listening to audio, so you're like, okay, that sounds chopped off. So anyway.
One of the videos that we did that got the most views was our reflection on our trip to Asbury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that I forgot about Asbury happening, during this time period. Yeah. So that I think that was one of the videos that got it's in like the 500s right now.
Yeah, and that one was pretty fun.
That was back in February.
Right.
So that was a highlight. That's been a highlight of this year in general, is we got to experience that little.
I think that one did so good because it was relevant to the time.
It was what was going on.
That's what
everybody was searching Asbury.
Yeah,
and then our church got to get on into that. So everybody at church.
Well, like one of the shorts we made for it, I think had like 1,200 views, and that was incredible for that.
Mm-hmm. That's where we're at. Yeah. So I mean, that was one thing that happened this year that's been like interesting. I think it shaped a lot of people's worldviews. I mean, as far as like their spiritual walks, because it was such an experience. Now, I believe that there have been things that happened since then that maybe eclipse that. But yeah, I mean, it was a big deal. Mm-hmm. And if we could maybe go on other trips like that.
Yeah.
And take
that's
you
been
with
kind
us.
of our goal, is to go on the road. I mean,
right. See, and that's one of the things we do want to get out of these studios.
Yeah.
And go somewhere else. Also, we have an idea that we want to move our studio at some point. So whenever that comes into play, we'll be able to do that. But as of right now, weren't able to do that.
Us three live probably 10 minutes from each other, and we travel 45 minutes over here to record to the church.
Yeah.
So that's a process whenever we do it.
It's just a little bit of a struggle, but it's one of those things. And it's been fun. Like you get it done, and you get, that's good. Mm-hmm. But then there's a lot of work involved. So yeah, it's for me to say, okay, what's happened? I've been doing this year. This is where I've been like, I want this to do well. So it's a passionate thing. So I am passionate about this. I want it to be well. I want it to do good. I want us to bring you something that's going to make you think, or make you ask a question, or maybe you'll, I don't know, be reflective of some things, or reconsider some things. Or I like the ones where we talk about Bible theory, and we, excuse me, cause you to study the Bible.
Yeah.
Where like the obscure things, like, okay, did Judas go to hell and see Jesus during the crucifixion, or just a lot of different things like that. The one where we talked about time traveling, that was fun. So we've had some pretty good ideas. The Chick-fil-A. Now, that was a genuine moment. I was actually at Chick-fil-A, and I had that thought. I think that was the spirit quickened to me, the understanding of what we're supposed to do. So, because if you were here at the moment, and maybe when you listen to that episode, you can feel the presence of God. When we're talking about this, maybe silly subject, but it was a personal thing. So, maybe what's your least favorite? Why don't you go into that one? Excuse me,
I can't
I'm choking here.
Think ASMR right there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rattle.
I can't think of a least favorite. There's just so many. It's more moments of like the embarrassing moments where if I'm paying attention to myself while I'm editing and I'm just kind of just staring off into space or staring off over at you guys. So I don't really have,
Nothing.
No.
What about the third time we did the superstition episode?
Oh, yeah. See, that's just the moments that
you'll never see.
No, right, exactly. When I go back and watch them, I think, oh, Lord, that was so painful recording that, getting it all done.
So, like, okay, this is the 52nd episode we've done, but actually...
Probably like the
70th, yeah. So, I mean, we've been doing this a year now, but, yeah. What you've seen has been the refined product, so you're blessed, even if it is rough. So,
there's been a couple episodes where I haven't been here because we had our baby, but just like that, it's a 45-minute drive, so...
and it was a process.
Yeah, and when Whitney, we didn't know when she was going to go into labor because she kept having it wasn't Braxton Hicks, it was True...
she was going into labor.
Yeah, it was so I didn't want to make the 45-minute drive because then we go to Nashville to have the baby, which is another hour. So that'd have been nearly 2 hours of driving, and who knows, the last time we went with Eliza and she was born within an hour of getting there. So there was a lot of things that I didn't want to come the 45 minutes this way.
Yeah.
To have another 45-minute drive home, then to the hospital.
So whenever they said they're going to have a baby, and we kind of knew the due date somewhat, we said, okay, let's pre-record a bunch of episodes.
I think we did like six?
Six in one day.
Yeah.
And that's why some of them were kind of like...
Yeah.
Anyway. But maybe not the best idea, but it did work.
Yeah.
For what we were doing, just so we could have what do you call that?
Consistency.
Yeah. Because I like the ones when Becca came when you were gone.
Yeah.
But it is fun to have consistency. Mm-hmm. And Becca did a pretty good job. Seth, bless his heart. He didn't have much to say, but he did look good. Anyway, it was, so we're learning, and you'll probably see switching out times to time. You may see Becca, Emmy.
Yeah, if you want to see the girls more, say it.
Yeah. We want.
The only way we know to do better is by hearing from the people that listen to us.
Yeah.
So we only know what we know, so you see it from the outside looking in, so you tell us. But if you don't comment, we don't know what.
Right.
We need to get Whitney on here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whitney could tell us some things now. Whitney could tell us the truth. Mm-hmm. She'd say whether or not it's right or not.
She'd say whether we're doing good.
She could say whether we're doing good.
She's honest.
Be honest about it. But okay, so let me ask you this one. Least favorite episode. Okay. Out of everything we've done, has any of it felt like it's not worth it? Silence.
No, it's all worth it. I think it's all worth it. It's because it only takes one person to, one word or phrase or scripture or something for us to say to change that person's entire life.
Yeah.
So we may not know it. I mean, we got 100 and, as of this recording, 106 subscribers.
Yeah, which was our goal.
Right, yeah. Our goal was to hit 100, and so we went past that. So if it changed just one person's life and turned them to God, then it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and I think if we give it through an interesting way of doing it, where we talk about, maybe it's talking about, like we said, Bible theory.
Right.
Or
well, it's kind of a form of a parable.
Right.
Jesus, he spoke in parables, and it made his disciples and all the other people think. It made them think a little bit.
Right. And we promise it'll always be biblical.
Right.
We won't step outside the Bible to do something unbiblical. Maybe look between the lines and add, and not to say it's for sure true, but we're going to ask the question of, what color was on the coat of many colors? Was it a rainbow or was it the rainbow episode, by the way? That was fun. That was fun. And we did do that one in the month of June because, not because of affirming a certain lifestyle. We were doing that to present truth in light of lie. Mm-hmm. And so part of that reclaiming that symbol for what it biblically means, taking it away from the LGBTQ plus whatever, which they have no right to it. Mm-hmm. this, I mean, that was that whole purpose of that. So sort of behind the scenes on that was a purpose. I said, we're not going to talk about any of this stuff. We're not giving that place. We're not giving that place.
Right.
We're not going to give that glory. So that was what we said. We said, okay, we're just going to go with this, and we're going to let people get some cool information. And then we had all kinds of rainbows show up in our life.
Yeah.
And it was like all pointing to that. Yep. It was confirming it all over the place. So God has been in this. It's been interesting. It's God. I guess God has a sense of humor because He made us, and He made us do some of the things we've done this year. Not saying all of it's been inspired by the Holy Ghost. Some of it has been a little bit desperation just to get something done.
Yeah.
But I think we're learning, and maybe we'll learn some more. Mm-hmm. What about it, Billy?
I'm just I'm happy to be here. You know, we don't get no money for this, and we just want to see people's lives changed.
Right.
Yep.
We want you to see, what God has for you, for your family. What the enemy does to try to attack you. We just try to point it out because we want to help somebody.
Yeah.
We really do. We if we ever do get money, for this podcast, I don't want none of it. I want it to go to bless this ministry and upgrading whatever we need to upgrade. I never want to take a dime, but I just want the Lord to be glorified through it all. And I think that speaks for Jed and Micah that we're not looking for no glory ourselves. We don't care, if we're your favorite superstar. We're not after that. We're just after all fingers pointed to God, and just trying to do a ministry for Him, trying to bring out His word, trying to, give you something, give you a blessing, something, you're struggling with something, help you with it, give you some history. Mike is a history buff. I'm not a history buff. This, and I've been blessed through it. I've been blessed because I've been learning history. So this podcast not only touched, people, has touched me and helped me, and we're moving on.
We don't plan on leaving like the basics of what we've already done.
Right.
But we do plan on improving on.
Build on it.
We build on the foundation. We build on the foundation we've laid here. So let this first year kind of be a foundation, which we will build on, and it will become more intense at times, where we may tackle extremely serious subjects. Mm-hmm. But don't be surprised if one day we come on here and we'll do something really, really goofy. So
like dress up like turkeys for Thanksgiving.
That's his idea.
This is the first I'm hearing of that.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, we're coming up to that moment, and our first episode was on Thanksgiving,
mm-hmm.
and it was pretty rough, but it's okay. Thanksgiving for me is always a special time of the year, but this is the anniversary of what we did.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we're thankful to the Lord that He's given us this opportunity to do whatever we're doing,
mm-hmm.
and we're thankful to you, who are the listeners, the viewers, the subscribers, the people who casually find us from time to time and say, "Oh, that's an interesting subject. I think I'll go listen to that." Okay. We may not be the most up-to-date. We may not be the most, what do you call that? Hip. We're not that cool. Well, we can be cool if we want to, whatever. But we're thankful that you choose to view us, listen to us, subscribe to us. If you've not subscribed, go ahead and push that little button where it says subscribe.
Don't cost you a dime.
Don't cost anybody anything. Subscription is not like a magazine subscription back in the day. It costs you nothing. All it does is help us know that you're listening, and it helps YouTube know that somebody is listening to us. And you follow us on Spotify, and all that does is help Spotify know that somebody's listening to our podcast. If you're on, Google Podcast?
Yeah.
Which
I think they're doing away with.
I think they're doing away with one or the other.
Yeah,
they're changing something.
It's either Apple or Google. I don't remember which one, but they're doing away with.
Maybe it was Apple.
Podcast.
No, Google. It's Google Podcasts because I heard it the other day.
Yeah.
Anyway, leave us a review wherever you find. If you find somewhere to put us a review in there, find a place to write something. If you feel like, okay, leave your little message. If you have an idea, maybe it's a strange question like Jed's, what does Donald Trump smell like? He says cinnamon. I don't know. Probably dollar bills, whatever.
What did your brother say last night?
$1,000 bills.
No, he said it. He
he
said it a certain way.
Yeah, he said, okay. We said, Jed said, what does Donald Trump smell like if you hugged him and without missing a beat? He said, $1,000 bills. And I said, you don't even know what a $1,000 bill smells like. He said, it smells just like $1 bills with 3 zeros beside them. I was like, so anyway, if you have a weird like scenario question like that, drop it in the comments. Put it down there and give us an emoji, thumbs up, smiley face, poo-poo, whatever you feel led to do. And we're thankful for your viewership. And if you don't want to view anymore, you can unsubscribe because you have that privilege. But we don't encourage you to do that.
We also have an email, the Road Home Podcast at yahoo.com. So if you want it to be discreet, you can send it there and we'll read it. You know, all I've got is junk mail. So from Linktree. So.
Yeah. We need your communication. Let this be that. That's the only thing we're saying here. We just need a little bit of communication, just to kind of like Marco Polo, like Marco, and you over there and you holler Polo. Just kind of let me know what you doing. Are you there, or is YouTube taking some of our content away because we're talking about AI and some of that stuff? Like we really want to know this. So let us know that we're not being shadow banned. That's all we're saying. And if you're not, if there's nobody there to hear what we're saying, just kind of
let it be.
Let it be. So we're fine with that. We just like to know the truth about it. So anyway, happy 1 year anniversary. And with that being said, we'll see you a little further down the road. I've lost my ability to go anywhere.
Why not let it happen on the 1 year?
Right.
1 year. Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.